Back in the unit today, cleaning out all the arches and under the front half of the car for the time being. Just a bit of rust protection. Obviously up there's a little bit of surface rust and some sealants come off there. So we're going to replace that and respray it. I'm no restoration expert, but Tiger Seal normally sorts most things. So I've painted up there now. I've only done paint on that and not under seal because of that's what the top mount sits, so I don't want it to be not sitting on there square. So now I'm going to cover that up with a Tiger Seal. Seems to have come out alright. So you're going to let that dry, and then I've got some of this to spray on it just to protect it a bit more. So this is that side coated now. Obviously up there is still black because I don't want it painting over with this stuff because it's quite thick. That's the first coat, and then if you compare that to this side, massive difference. I'm also thinking that I'm going to mask off half the engine bay and do the bottom half, and then I'll do the top half same colour, because when I cleaned it, bits of paint and stuff started to come off, so I just want to clean it all up, make it look nice, save having to take the engine back out and do it again. So this side is fully painted now, I think. I'll wait till it dries up properly. This side, I've done 2 coats on this and a few more, and I've masked up the bottom half of the engine bay where I'm going to paint, and then the top half I'll get colour match paint so it looks nice for the rest of the car. Hello, right, so I've been ill for the last few weeks and not done a lot. I can't remember where I left it, but the engine bay is all painted up other than the top half. I've got water in some colour match paint. Engine mounts, these ones hopefully are in for good now. Solid, obviously other than this being tightened up, I'll wait till the engine's on for that. So I picked myself up an engine stand and struggled with getting the engine on because I still don't have a crane, but it's on. What I'm going to do now is start cleaning off all this oxidisation or lime scale, whatever it is, and just try and get the outside as clean as I can before I rip it apart. So because I've not really got the time or facilities to be taking the engine off for sandblasting, I've got some of these little abrasion wire wheel things. It's working quite well, but I've just got to do the whole thing. That's this side cleaned up a little bit. It's kind of not really gone as I'd liked. So I'm going to split it apart. I think it might be a bit easier to get the tools in, and then I can do parts separately. If not, I'm going to have no choice but to send it off and be sandblasted. So that's the top stripped off now over there. I've removed, sensors and stuff that I'd left in and missed, so they're all in there. So this side is still a mess, which I don't know. Obviously this is a lot cleaner, but not where I want it. I don't really want to have to paint it. I'd like to just clear coat it. Obviously not looking like that. I might have to paint it. So now I've got to work out how I strip the top down. I've seen there. I'm trying to crack this off, and the gun's not got enough power, and nor do I. I know you're meant to have a special tool to do it, but I've had a lot of people say you can crack them off. So that's what I've been trying, and I've bent my screwdriver in the process. So I think I'm going to go and have to invest in a bigger gun. I ended up coming back a few days later because I got fed up of it, but this is where we're at now. Cams and rockers and that are all off. Sump and the timing chain covers off. A few other little bits. Crank pulley. I managed to get that off while it was on the stand, using a bar as an extension, as leverage, not a fun job. My gun just didn't have enough power in it to get it off. So I don't have any, I don't know if you can see, but the head bolts are multi-spline, and I don't have any multi-spline sockets, so I'm stuck at that point for now, so I'm going to have to order some more. It's taking its time and I'm getting fed up of it, but I'm trying to do it properly rather than slapping it in the car, because if I was doing that I could have had it done by now, but I'd rather take my time and do it right. Now, I don't know if anybody watching knows enough about these, but do I just do all the head gasket kit and stuff, or do I build it? So I can get some rods for 400 quid, pistons 600. I'm not going for mad power, but I do want it to be reliable at the end of the day, so I would appreciate if anybody knows. Taking the head off, that's the pistons now. There's the head, these are the other parts. Well, it's been a very long time since I've updated this, because I can't be bothered. Strip down, paint off the head, current state of the engine, it's just blocks and pistons and crank at the minute. A few bits of the K20 there, a load of it there, and Clio parts there. So the plan at the moment now is I'm going to paint the bay, but I'm going to strip off stuff that I think I don't need. It might bite me back that I do need them, but oh well, we'll have to weld some more studs on if that's the case. I've ended up cutting bits off. I did look at photos when I stripped it down, so I roughly know what needs to go. Now I went to go and buy a welder to weld these up. They're probably there for a reason. I don't need them, I don't think. And I thought about cutting this off, as this mount's not needed for the K20 now. I'm trying to smooth it all out. I think it's too far out of my ability. So I went to buy a welder and I've come back with an air compressor instead. So I'm a bit stuck really. So I've angle ground down these little plate things basically to cover the hole. I've just tapped a little bit on that just to see if it will work. If this doesn't work, I'm not even going to bother with the rest. It's not really a show car at the end of the day. I was just trying to clean it up. I mean, it's smooth to some degree. It's kind of hard when the welder doesn't really want to weld, but it's worked. But I mean, I can't be bothered to do the rest, and it's not really worth it for me. Maybe if I had gas I'd carry on, but for now I can't be bothered. So I've got some primer. I'm going to start priming the bay now. It's not, I mean the paint's not horrendous, but I'd rather be over cautious than not do enough. So obviously all of this is sprayed in the stone chip underseal stuff, so I'd like to try and get that back to the original colour. Right, so that is the bay with 2 coats of primer on it and 1 misting of the colour matched paint. To be fair, the bits, obviously that part isn't great, but you're not going to see that, and I may go over it with filler at some point and then just respray it, but the other bits that I've cut off and painted, you can't even tell, you can't see where it is or where it was. So I'm going to give this some time to dry and then do the next can. I know you're meant to leave like 24 hours between the coats, but I ain't got the time. So it says shake can well before use. Right, so I'm leaving at this point tonight because my phone's about to die and there's not really much else I can do. That's now 3 or 4 coats of lacquer on it. It's slightly orange peely, but I may come back and mop it when it's dry if it needs it. I mean, I'm not too fussed. There's going to be a heat shield here anyway, so you're not going to see too much of it, but if for some reason you do, I want it to be presentable. And obviously you can see the difference with the stone chip colour. I've kind of blended it in, but again, you're not really going to see it, so I'm not too fussed about the colour difference there, same as within the arches. But it's, I think it's a pretty good match of colours. We'll find out when it's dried properly. That's probably it for this video, and then next time hopefully it'll be something to do with building the engine, maybe.